back along with John Welsh. Tonight, a very cold evening for football. Very few fans so far, and John Walsh, my partner, it looks to be a good one, though.
Yes, it does, Greg. Tonight in the second-round playoff game, we match two teams that are physically contrasting. Buchtel is very big up front with a lot of speed in the skill positions. Chardon, although not as large, is a team with a lot of physical strength and good quickness at all positions. Both teams offensively are versatile. Neither squad relies on just one or two people. Rather, they spread it out amongst several players. Buchtel is led by tailback Ricky Powers, who on the season had over 1,100 yards rushing at a 7-yard-per-carry clip. Wingback Marcus Jennings contributed 600 yards of offense, and quarterback Ron Shannon 1,000, 700 of which came through the air. All of these backs are very fast with 40-yard dash clockings in the 4.4 to 4.5 range. Chardon offensively gets full use out of their fullback Miklas and their three halfbacks tonight, being Decepeda, Davies, and Bibb. When quarterback Howard Joyner is on, he can pick a defense apart with his quick release and pinpoint accuracy. Defensively, the best word to describe Buchtel up front is huge. Tackles weigh in at 245 and 230. The noseman Scart Harrington tips the scales at 315 pounds. The bulk of the line allows the linebackers Kelvin King and Donald Futch to roam almost at will. Chardon's up front group is strong and quick, and they are blessed with three outstanding linebackers in Ed Ash, Chuck Cox, and Perry Miklas. Keys to tonight's game are whether Chardon can execute properly at every position. They're at an obvious size and speed disadvantage. The best way to nullify this defensively is by having the end seal up on every single down, making it difficult for Buchtel to get outside. By getting very active play from the linebackers, penetration by interior linemen, and tough coverage by the secondary, respecting the speed of Buchtel, but don't play him too loose. Offensively, Chardon must establish quick-hitting pass plays early. Slants over the middle and short hook patterns will freeze the linebackers and make their first step backwards. Then by widening line splits and creating, if you will, natural holes, I believe Chardon can establish an effective inside running game. The biggest factor against Chardon tonight is the physical conditioning aspect. Buchtel fully platoons while Chardon has several two-way starters. This, coupled with the size differential, means that going into the fourth quarter, Chardon will probably be very tired. It'll be hard for them to play catch-up ball, so we'll have to establish an early lead to have a chance in tonight's ball game.
All right, John, there you have it. Akron Buchtel and Chardon, the Hilltoppers, and the Griffins. There you see Chardon. They're in the all-black with the red helmets. The Griffins are with the white jerseys and the black helmets this evening. Snow is falling, they say, maybe 2 to 3 inches by the end of today's ball game. Very cold this evening. We're in the upper 20s. Wind chill factor should be around 0. But on the field, it gets a little bit warm for the players. They're able to run up and down the field, John. And how much would the weather affect these young players?
I'll tell you, adrenaline generates body heat, Greg, and there's a lot of adrenaline on both squads tonight. I mean, this is what they've been playing all year for, and they're just pumped up. So I don't think the cold will be a factor at all. One thing about it, this field is nice and hard. It's just the snow laying on the field makes it slick because there's a little crust over it, and as you go to plant the feet, that makes them slide out. That works to Chardon's advantage a little bit because Buchtel in the skill positions, like I mentioned, has a lot of speed there. That slows them down, makes them tiptoe a little bit, if you will, to make sure that they don't go out on their feet, takes their speed away from them, while on the other hand, I don't believe it's going to nullify Chardon's quickness. Quickness is just shooting out of the blocks quick. They can still do that and not lose their speed advantage on that, so I think the conditions tonight, if anything, do favor Chardon.
Well, I've seen a lot of the players tonight wearing just regular tennis shoes out there, trying to get a feel for what they can do on the field, what kind of cuts they can make. Both teams run very efficiently, pass very well, but we'll see if the passing game will be able to be used by either team this evening. Chardon has some injuries. After last week's overtime victory over Minerva, Mike Scolaris turned an ankle and will only start on defense. He will not see any action at the tailback position, and he's doubtful as the punter. Howard Joyner, the quarterback, is the reserve punter. The Hilltoppers also lost Jeff Polina to strained quadricep muscle in his leg, although Jeff can start on defense. Also, Chuck Cox has sore ribs and a sore shoulder, but he will start at the linebacker spot. His knee that he had arthroscopic surgery on after the third game of the season against Chagrin Falls was all right after last week's game. Buchtel plays in a running lead, and they're rated number 1 in Division II Region 5, and Chardon was ranked number 3 going into the playoffs. So it looks like tonight's going to be a good game as the players are ready to go here as the national anthem is being played.
Yeah, I found out Buchtel's record on the season is 9-1, including their playoff game. The reason they have one less game, Greg, is they leave a slot open just in case they qualify for the city championship, which they did, and that's played on Thanksgiving Day in Akron. Buchtel already has passed up the opportunity of that because the overriding factor, if you're in the playoffs, moving ahead, make it to the second round, it's an automatic one, but I'm sure if you took a poll among all these Buchtel players, ask them if they'd rather play for an opportunity at a state championship, which this game will lead to, ideally for either one of these squads, or the Akron City, they'll be down on this field tonight.
Akron Buchtel High School will get the ball first. Doing the kicking chores is Steve Wilson, number 85, the senior. And going back deep, Sterling Jones, a sophomore, number 22. Number 7, Lester Carney, the junior, number 7. And Marcus Jennings, number 24, the senior.
I wonder if Chardon's got some sort of a play. No, there they split apart because they were standing in their little huddle formation for quite a while. I was wondering if it was going to be a mass onside kick attempt.
And here comes Wilson, and he'll just drop it on the ground. Picked up and up the middle. James Crawford, he's the fullback, and Crawford, a senior, will start at that position.
James Crawford.
That's probably a good choice on Chardon's part to squib the kick rather than allowing a high kick where you can get a return, because you don't know what these field positions are exactly like. You got to feel your way through it. Don't give the opportunity of a burning speed team to have the ball and strike at you early, just as Minerva did to Chardon last week.
1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Buchtel with Ron Shannon at quarterback. Shannon will go back to pass right away. He's going to go long. He's got Carney and nothing there. Lester Carney, a speedster.
Yeah, we had good coverage that time by Scalaris on him. I believe that was Scalaris. Again, with, yes, it was. With these conditions tonight, those dark uniforms and tough reading numerals of Chardon, it is hard to pick out numbers. If anything, they got their feet tangled up there. If there would have been a flag thrown on that one, I believe it would have been offensive because it was the receiver that tangled his feet with Scalaris rather than the inverse.
2nd down and 10 from the 43. For the Griffins. The Griffins hand off and nowhere to go. Right side of the defense. Dave Scanlon along with Chuck Cox.
Boy, I tell you, Cox made his presence felt early there. He hit him straight on. We're way up high here in Mullenkoff Stadium. Heard a big crack of pads. Scanlon came in on the side, gave him another shot. Nothing there for Buchtel. Good defensive play by Chardon. That's what they have to do. Seal him up here early.
3rd down and 10. Look for Jennings or Carney. But they pitch back to Powers. Powers along the right side. High stepping his way, picks up about 5 yards. But not enough for a 1st down. And they'll have to punt it away.
Yeah, see, Chardon came out with a different alignment this time, Greg. They're running with a 4-man up front unit on this series. I suppose their thought on that is that nullifies the line, allow the mobility of the linebackers to move around, get the tackles for them. That takes away the large size advantage that Buchtel has. That's probably a good strategy on Chardon's part.
Ron Shannon, the quarterback, is also the punter. Shannon gets away, a good one. And a fair catch by Jennings. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Chardon Hilltoppers, 9-2 overall. Last week in overtime, a victory. Perry Miklas, a 6-yard run for a 20-14 victory.
And a very exciting first round game, and I'm sure we're going to see another exciting one here. And probably more or less defensive oriented like we had last week, because these bad field conditions more or less do favor the defense. Interesting to see what sort of plays Chardon comes up with initially here.
First down and 10 from the 20. And they pitch out to Davies. And Davies picks up a couple. Ray Davies, the sophomore, getting his first start here for Chardon. He's been a member on the JV team. They brought him up to play because of the injuries. We'll see how he performs tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting. The two halfbacks for Chardon tonight really don't have that much in the way of varsity game experience at these halfback spots. Both are excellent special teams players and see a lot of action there, but as far as starting backfield positions, they don't have much in the way of experience.
And the officials see something wrong. We'll get their explanation in a second here. Your head linesman. Offsides on Chardon. That'll move them back 5.
Yeah, I don't think it was a case of movement, Greg. I think somebody just lined up a little bit ahead. That's one of those things that's easy to do on this. It's tough. They swept off the line markers before the game started, but still it is hard to see your positioning. You lose perspective. Don't have good angles if you can't see the line markers.
2nd and 15. And back to pass goes Joyner. Joyner over the middle, and it's intercepted by Hoda. Hoda could go all the way, and he will. Roy Hoda with an interception of Howard Joyner. Maybe we'll get that one on replay.
Yeah, that one, Hoda just hung behind the intended receiver, laid back there, if you will, and stepped in front. Did a good job of camouflaging he was there. I don't believe Joyner saw him at all as he stepped in front, took that interception. Good defensive play by Hoda.
A quick 6-0 here. That's what happened last week. Minerva able to come out on top in the first play from scrimmage.
Yeah, I believe that was Hoda's 4th interception on the year, too.
And Marty Rogers, number 53, comes in to attempt the extra point. The kick is up and good, and it's a quick 7-0.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Joyner did have good protection on that play. Unfortunately, he just did note the fact that Hoda was laying in the background there as he tried to deliver it to his receiver. Hoda just played it perfectly, stepped in front, grabbed it, walked into the end zone.
Chardon will get to go back.